Prior to coming here, I was a deep water drilling engineer and traded my own accounts, retail accounts. Always dreamt about becoming a trader, but really never knew what that meant. Quit my job, started working a rotational assignment offshore, 14 days offshore, 14 days off, trying to get more serious about it. And ultimately just, probably like a lot of other people, took some losses that weren't probably necessary. Those losses had me, search and try to improve my game, which I found SMB. I don't remember how. I don't know if it was through just blogging or, stock twits or what, but came in, inquired about the training programs, and of course the rotational schedule. They said they would work with it, and I just said, well, I'm not really. I want to be able to focus on it and it alone. But this was like prior to you. This was with Mike. Mm-hmm. And then finally quit working offshore and said I want to do this full time. And that led me to take Trader DNA, and then with the intent to take Foundation, which I did. So that's the
cool.
60-second journey.
That's good. So the real, the level of commitment from you is big and whatnot in terms of you're here, you're on the desk, you've left consistent income, you've taken the plunge as we call it. Yeah, so that's
probably did it all wrong
awesome.
After talking with the partner of the firm and whatnot. But
that would be. All right, so you went through DNA and then you stepped up to the kind of the big boy program, Foundation. Just tell me about your experience with Foundation.
Foundation was extremely good. It's challenging. It's, some days I don't even know that it's possible to finish all of the content. But from everything from execution keys to reading the tape, I had heard about reading the tape for a long time, and doing it alone, trying to figure it out. I'm just not that type of learner. I really need some instruction.
I think most of us do.
Yeah, so that piece of it was phenomenal. Just getting all the video, even if they're old videos, even if they're scout moves, you're being trained what to look for, and that stuff applies regardless of the time frame that you desire to trade upon. So yeah, that piece of it was phenomenal. And then just being on the desk, I took it in-house, was great. I got to see, not everybody would get to potentially see this, but like Brexit was just an interesting opportunity to see what the guys on the desk and how they were preparing for it and the meetings. And again, because I'm sort of like a hands-on learner, just being here for the meetings is more beneficial. I'm more in the room, I'm more attentive than,
That's one thing that I feel like a lot of people actually overlook or miss out on in Foundation, especially some people that take Foundation remotely. They don't use those meetings to the full advantage. It's one thing to have the recorded content and learn through that, but then apply it real time, day to day to day with what's going on. And it's huge. Yeah, so that's awesome.
And there was also a class that was taken Foundation. I was by myself a little bit,
of course,
but they had a little overlapping class. So again, the benefit of other ideas, other people's trades and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So just in general, what would you say are some of the biggest ways that you've grown since coming to SMB? In what ways have you grown, if at all?
It's easy to repeat stuff that Mike says about, you want to turn best practices into habits. It's easy to talk about the 7 fundamentals of one good trade. You can just buy Bella's book. You can just hear our podcast. Mm-hmm. Patience, discipline, detail plan, etc. It's another thing to actually live that or execute that through trading. And Foundation has helped me grow in that direction. Totally, just not there yet, even close. Even today, went off script from a detailed plan, not having the patience, not having the discipline. But I have certainly grown in each one of those categories. Really didn't even know about them until, I found Bella's book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's provided structure. I've grown. It's been tremendously positive.
I think just along those lines, one thing that I know you and I have talked about in the past is a lot of times through the learning process, as we gain more knowledge and get more kind of honed in and critical on what we need to be doing, sometimes it can feel like we're actually getting worse.
Yeah.
Because we're more self-aware of the mistakes, right? So I know we've had conversations around that in the past.
And I mean, just like everything else, like I know, again, repeating stuff from Steenbarger and Bella, they talk about no one has ever mastered any sort of craft through reading books. And I'm not saying Foundation does that. You become a master, but you have to have critical feedback. You have to have lectures, video content, practice on the keyboard. That's stuff I never really considered. So that's been an extremely positive experience for me from a coaching standpoint, from a structured training standpoint. It's been nothing but positive. In fact, oftentimes when I think about it, I probably didn't get enough out of it as I should have. Sometimes I'm in trader development now. Sometimes I still think I need to be asking more questions. But that's an internal battle that I have.